Agent Merc, Hydra Wade, Bob Pool? I'm still workshopping their couple name. This week we're taking a look at Marvel Legends Deadpool and Hydra Bob. From the mad scientist facility that brought you Captain America and Wolverine, the degenerate regenerate mutant, Wade Wilson is an assassin for hire and a strong negotiator.
You slip me the cash and I'll slip you the wiener.
But I don't have any cash.
Then I don't have a wiener.
Deadpool is a comic book character that knows he's a comic book character. Bob, on the other hand, was sick of listening to his nagging wife and got a job as a Hydra agent.
Who are you talking to?
Nothing, I didn't say anything.
It was there that he met Deadpool and became his part-time cowardly sidekick.
You're a good listener. I like you.
Articulation, bruh.
Okay, we're going to start with the biggest pet peeve of this figure. That's the collar continuously riding up. But the head is on a ball joint, allowing him to look down a decent amount. And if you look at the back, there is a notch cut out, which allows him to get a good range going up. There is some left to right, and there's a decent amount of tilt. A ball joint at the upper torso does give you some twist, together with that lower ab crunch gives you that much forward and even more back. Arms rotate all the way around, there's a bicep swivel, a butterfly joint that is hindered a little bit by that harness. Reaching back nonchalantly, it does give you a full range of movement. The collar is riding up once again, so there's that. A pinless double jointed elbow. Arms bow on hinge all the way up, hands rotate, and although they're not weapons, they do hinge the correct weapon wielding way. On the other hand, the fists do hinge up and down. The legs kick up, well, not the greatest, but if you use the drop down hip, they do go all the way up. They do out a good amount. There's a upper thigh swivel hidden nicely behind those pouches. There's a pinless double jointed knee. He's not wearing any boots, but there is a nice little calf swivel. Feet hinge down, hinge up. There's some toe articulation with that hinge. And ankles that rock like swimming on rocks. Moving on to Bob, he can look left to right. The ball on hinge allows him to bob for apples. He can also look all the way up, but there's not a lot of tilt. Bob's got a nice waist swivel hidden nicely behind that belt. There's a nice little ab crunch going forward and back. Arms rotate all the way around. There is a butterfly joint that is hindered by that harness. Speaking of the harness, it doesn't really hinder the range going backwards, but if you do want to get rid of the harness, if you want to take it off, you can just unclip it like so. But I'm gonna pop mine back on there because it does kind of complete the look, right? Anyway, there's a bicep swivel, a pinless double jointed elbow, arms bow on hinge all the way up, hands rotate, hinging up and down. Bob can do a solid front kick, out a good amount. There's an upper thigh swivel, a pinless double jointed knee. Compared to the Deadpool, there is a bit of a gap in the boot swivel, but the feet do hinge down, hinge up, and rocks like a good home improvement tutorial.
Thank you for teaching me to give the ultimate handy!
That's a weird way to put it, but you're welcome.
Accessories. Does this purse go with my bra, bruh?
Deadpool comes with a set of melee weapon wielding hands, a set of trigger hands for the guns, and a set of hands that look like guns, all of which have vertical hinges. The remaining hands have horizontal hinges, including a set of fisted hands for fisticuffs. Speaking of cuffs, be careful with the wristbands when swapping out the hands. Almost lost them a few times while filming. I would have much preferred two-piece or thumbs-up hands to the finger guns. Who has one thumb and needs another? This guy. Instead, we get a left peace sign hand to offset the guns and a right thumbs down or up depending on your mood. The two pistols are a decent sculpt but lack paint. Same could be said about the machine gun and the Uzi.
Oh, that was my favorite gun!
The bazooka that looks like it's brought to you by the Barbie movie is the same bazooka / boxing glove combo we got with the Juggernaut Wave Deadpool. The glove detaches and barely fits. Just be careful, that peg is small and I don't think it was its intended purpose. The peg on the bazooka, however, does fit in the back of the Bob hole. The hole on the back of Bob. It's a secure fit. Just give that harness a bit of a tug.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Next up is a set of toy lightsabers you'd picture being under their Christmas tree in the 70s. It's the type of ridiculous you'd expect from a Deadpool offering. And in that vein, here's the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles audition / modeling for Deadpool and Bob. First up with a set of blue swords, we have Leonardo. Can't tell if these are small swords or large knives. For the red size, we've got a fed up Raphael. I don't own it, but the size look to be the same ones as Lady Daredevil. The plastic holds its shape fairly well considering how thin the blade is. No staff cuts here. Wielding the purple tape bow staff, we've got Donatello. This is the same staff that was packed in with the MCU Shang-Chi. The two tiny pegs are meant to go into the hand to secure it better, although I don't know if it really applies with this figure. And to introduce our orange nunchucks, we have our fellow chucker, Michelangelo. The gummy plastic works in its favor here. The chain bends with resistance and springs back fairly well. The right angle nunchuck has a longer grip on the one side. Not sure why, but it looks great in more dynamic poses. Hydra Bob comes with a set of fisted hands, and a set of vertically hinged trigger hands that fits his luggage no problem. We've seen this suitcase before. It was packed in with the Prowler from that Stiltman Build-A-Figure. Only now it has the Hydra symbol painted on it, and the money inserts on the inside has been replaced with a bunch of knickknacks. As small as they are, a sculpted banana and thermos would have made for a cool standalone accessory. Not sure what the other items are in the suitcase, so we'll just say that they're utensils for his lunch and a loving note from his adoring wife.
I didn't take any notes.
What the hell, Jake? Do you even love me?
Says the woman who never once sent me flowers.
The smiling head sculpt is the same sculpt as the Undies Deadpool, only better paintwork. I don't know for sure because I never picked it up, but the Uncanny X-Men Deadpool Angry sculpt looks to be the same sculpt we got here. You know, for a character who rarely takes anything seriously, the only masked head sculpt being angry doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But what do you all think? Did they miss anything? For a character who's frequently on the defensive, some open gesturing hands would have been nice.
Go sit yourself.
All the times Bob has betrayed Hydra helping Deadpool, you'd think he'd eventually end up behind a desk. Luckily, Hydra Bob can go sit himself. Whether he's riding a unicorn, a dragon, or any other majestic mythical creature, Deadpool can go sit himself.
Alright, first up, you may be asking yourself, how much is Mr. Bigglesworth worth? Here's Taco Deadpool, Fox / MCU Movie Deadpool, and from Figma, we have a smaller scaled Deadpool. You might think that the pirate's favorite letter is R. Well, it's the C they love. Here's Pirate Deadpool. Do you remember the time Deadpool merged with the Venom symbiote? Yeah, me neither. Back in black, here's Deadpool. And sometimes a zombie's gonna catch you with your pants down. Or in his case, his pants off. Here's Deadpool. And it wouldn't be right if we didn't add some X-Men to the mix. From X-Men 97, here's Cyclops and the always grumpy Wolverine. And mostly because I like saying it, I usually want to put multiple men in here, but there wasn't enough room. So here's a singular multiple man. And you can't mention an army builder without having the Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper. And to round them out, give a guy a hand, here's the Fuchsia's Articulated Icons Ninja.
Think on sexy thoughts. Think on sexy thoughts.
Over the years, Hasbro has released some pretty good 2-packs. The characters usually being a rival, romance, or bromance. Here we have the latter. A self-contained set that's fun even if you don't own any other Marvel Legends. More love was put into Bob than a sidekick deserves. The smiling head doesn't match the cowardly demeanor of Bob, but it's fun. I mean, who's running around with a pink bazooka, Ninja Turtle themed melee weapons, and not having a laugh? I gotta say, I'm not a fan of the cheap looking swords, so here's a harness swap, in case you wanted to replace them with the previous offerings. The color of the plastic doesn't match the other cargo pockets, but it's close enough. I plan on repainting most of the accessories from this 2-pack, so keep an eye out for that.
What have you done? I painted the truth. I painted my truth.
The boxing glove on the end of the bazooka does fit on both Bob and Deadpool. The right-handed glove is a tease, so for those of you who want the love of a glove on both hands, check out Super Action Stuff Casket of Cruelty. It came with a set of boxing gloves that fit over the wrist pegs, and it's a much better design, I gotta say. For those who want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description. The blood effects were especially fun for a guy who regularly gets dismembered. Wade's skin tone here isn't as charred as the Taco Deadpool, but here's an easy swap for customizers. The rest of us will have to stick with the excuse that Wade fell asleep somewhere in a scarf.
Was that place the Sun?
In most reference art, the bracelets are black, not red. But in more recent comics I've read, they're red. So here's a warning to everyone swapping out hands. The bracelets may fall off. I gotta say, my biggest pet peeve, other than Dogpool not arriving in time for this review, is being forced to push down the collar again and again. It's such a pain in the neck. You can glue it down, but glue at your own risk.
I glued my head to my shoulder.
This 2-pack is just fun. All the hands, weapons, and heads, it leaves you wanting more. Hasbro put a whole lot of love into this 2-pack. They chose the best articulated bodies in Marvel Legends right now, which is why it took me so long to finish this review. I blame all the fun I had posing Matman and Bobbins.
No, I don't think so.
For those of you who are looking to pick this up, a single carded Deadpool with his half of the accessories is rumored for next year, so don't run out and pay an arm and a leg for this, unless you absolutely need a Bob in your life.
Thank you.
Having pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody.
Make sure to like and subscribe, ding, to stay up to date with your bra. And remember, collect responsibly. Or not, do whatever the fuck you want, I'm not your keeper.